In the dense forests of Salem, where shadows seemed to whisper ancient secrets, a chilling hysteria began to unfurl in the late 1600s. The air was thick with fear and suspicion, as the townspeople began to believe that witches were lurking among them, possessing innocent souls and dancing with the devil. Families closed their doors tight, children whispered tales of phantom figures, and a pervasive dread settled over the village like a smothering fog. In the heart of Salem lived a young woman named Lydia Hawkins, a healer known for her herbal remedies and gentle ways. Lydia's life took an ominous turn when a group of young girls in the village began to suffer from frightening fits and violent contortions. Their cries of pain and inexplicable behavior were enough to ignite the town into a frenzy. Pointing fingers desperate for a scapegoat landed swiftly on Lydia, whose knowledge of herbs made her an easy target in a time of unreason. As accusations grew louder, fear gripped Lydia's heart. Despite her innocence, she was swept up by the hysteria, her identity consumed by the chilling label of witch. Her once welcoming cabin, filled with the scent of dried lavender and mint, now carried an air of gloom as villagers avoided passing it, spreading whispers of her supposed dealings with dark powers. The trials began, with the courthouse packed with town folk eager to see justice served for crimes unseen. Fiction spun as fact, and hysteria became truth. Abigail Johnson, one of the afflicted girls, dramatically accused Lydia from the witness stand. "She sent a spirit to torment me in the night," Abigail screamed, falling to the floor in convulsions. The courtroom was a theater of fear. Lydia's friend, John Proctor, couldn't stand the injustice. He stepped forward, his voice a cracking defiance against the tides of paranoia. "This is madness. Lydia has done nothing but heal the sick and help those in need," he implored. Yet, in an era where fear ruled over reason, John's words fell on deaf ears. The hysteria didn't merely touch Lydia. It spread its claws throughout Salem, ensnaring others like her. Lives were shattered, reputations destroyed, all while the truth hid behind a veil of fear. A practice once built on hope and healing twisted into an abyss of accusation and anxiety. When Lydia was eventually found guilty, and on the day of her execution, the mood in Salem was somber. A fog lingered, symbolic of the clouding of reason that had led them to such a tragic end. As Lydia stood on the gallows, she looked out over the crowd, her eyes meeting John's for a brief moment. In that silent exchange was the poignant tragedy of truth overshadowed by hysteria. Long after her death, the villagers began to see their folly, realizing the monstrous consequences of fear's manipulation. As history would later reveal, the Salem witch trials were less about witchcraft and more about the dangers of mass hysteria and the vulnerability of truth when engulfed by fear. Thus, Lydia's story became a haunting reminder, a truth entangled with hysteria that still echoes through the mists of Salem even to this day.